What's up, guys? I've heard from many of you who have a full caseload of insurance-based clients, and now you're hoping to transition to exclusively private pay clients. The problem is you're having trouble finding people who are willing to pay your full rate out of pocket. If this is you, don't worry, you're not stuck on insurance panels forever. In this video, I share my top tips for how to attract private pay clients if you're looking to transition off of insurance panels. Switch to a mostly private pay. That always happens to me. Private pay. You can do this, Marie. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. Now, I know at least some of you watching this video might be wondering why someone who has a full caseload of insurance-based clients would want to transition off of insurance panels. I have a whole video all about the pros and cons of accepting insurance in private practice, and I link to that up here and in the description box. You can check that out, and it might give you some answers as far as why someone might choose to ditch insurance panels. Now, for the rest of you who are already in the boat of wanting to transition off of insurance panels, the question becomes, how do you attract clients who are willing to pay your full fee out of pocket? If I'm completely honest, the strategy here is essentially the same as if you were starting private practice from scratch, only accepting private pay clients. The main difference is the logistical question of how you want to transition off of insurance panels. So some people decide to ditch insurance panels all at once, some choose to phase out of one insurance panel at a time, and others choose to build up their private pay caseload before they eventually decide to exit from insurance panels. Which of these options is the best decision for you is totally up to you, what's working for you, your practice, and your clients. So I'll leave that part of the decision in your court. Make no mistake about it, transitioning from a primarily insurance-based practice to a primarily private pay practice is just like starting private practice from scratch. However, there's two tips that I think if you can totally nail them, you're going to be able to make that transition successfully. And I'm going to break them down here. Tip number one, name your niche. Oh, there it is again. If you've watched any of my videos, you've probably heard me harp on the idea of naming your niche over and over again. And that's because it really is so central to success in private practice, especially if you're only accepting private pay clients. Okay, but the good news is, even if you don't know it yet, you likely already have a niche, and it's just a matter of learning how to identify it and name it concisely so that clients can understand it when they find you. So let's break down why finding a niche matters so much. Well, let's say if you stick with being a sort of generalist therapist, then when a potential client visits your website and they see your rate, they're most likely going to shy away because they can probably find another generalist who has a lower rate or maybe accepts their insurance. But if you're one of the only therapists or the only therapist in your area who specializes in a certain niche, then clients are going to be willing to pay quite a bit of money to see the best therapist for whatever their needs are. I mean, think about it for a second. If you were dealing with something really personal and difficult and you were desperate to make a difference, would you reach for the person who's charging the least amount of money but markets themselves as a generalist? Or would you be willing to spend a lot more money on somebody who targets exactly what it is you need help with? So if you haven't yet identified your niche for yourself, be sure to spend some time on that before you jump into the next tip. And good news for you, I have a whole video with an exercise to help you narrow your niche. So I'll link to that up here and you can find it linked in the description as well. And once you're really clear on what your niche is, be sure that you name it in your marketing materials, especially your website. If you'd like a little bit of help with that, check out my video all about writing great website copy. Again, you can find that linked up here and in the description box. And that takes us straight into our next tip. Develop a marketing strategy. Now, let's be honest, most therapists with a primarily insurance-based practice have had a very minimal marketing strategy going into it because insurance panels are sort of like a built-in marketing strategy. They send referrals straight to you simply because you're on the insurance panels. But now if you're hoping to transition off and have private pay clients find you, you need to have a more robust marketing strategy. Now, when I encourage you to develop a marketing strategy, I'm not saying that you need to do all the marketing strategies under the sun. In fact, I discourage you from doing that. When therapists try to do all the marketing strategies, they end up losing sight of who they are, and they also find it overwhelming and can burn out. So instead, once you've identified what your niche is, think about your ideal client. What are their main pain points, and how are some ways you're able to help meet their needs? So for example, let's say you specialize in working with family members of someone who's facing a terminal illness. Maybe you might consider offering free workshops in a hospice setting for those family members. You can target it straight to your ideal audience, offer some helpful tools for free, and I guarantee you're soon going to be pegged as an expert in that area, and people are going to spread the word. I know this might sound a little bit too simple, but this is a tried and true strategy, and it's very effective. So if you'd like a little bit of help with developing what marketing strategy might be the best fit for you, you can check out my video all about that, linked up here and in the description box. I feel confident that whether you ditch insurance all at once or if you phase out slowly, if you nail these 2 tips of finding your niche and developing a tailored marketing strategy, you're going to have full fee clients paying you out of pocket in no time. In addition to these tips, you may be surprised to find that once you phase off of insurance panels, some of your existing clients who were paying you through insurance may still choose to stick with you and pay your full rate out of pocket. Well, I hope you found these tips helpful as you consider transitioning into a cash-based practice. If you have already made this transition before, leave a comment below with some of your top tips and things to avoid so that we can all learn from each other. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. Today's video is brought to you by TherapyNotes.com. TherapyNotes helps with scheduling, notes, and billing so that you can spend more time with your clients and less time on back office paperwork. Click the link in the description of this video to get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment. Let's dive into this dip. I do like dip. Apparently I'm Southern when I have dip. Sorry, no offense. I don't know how to do accents.